this is... Oh. Hey everybody, this is Cardboard Life or Breaks with a Magic the Gathering Guilds of Ravnica booster box break. I got this box at pre-release Friday night and waited to open it with you guys. As you can tell, we're doing a little something different today. My father's the one who runs this channel. I'm normally behind the scenes in the director's chair, and me and him have played Magic for a while now, and we just thought it'd be fun to open a box. It's a little bit more my thing now since he's gotten older, of course, and work and all that stuff gets in the way. But yeah, I'm Haley, and you can call me Cardboard Life or Breaks Jr. So let's go ahead and get into the box and see what we got. I'm pretty excited. I'm really feeling Golgari and Boros this specific go around, but Dimir, you know, gotta love that blue-black. So let's go ahead and break the seal on this. Don't want to get the box. Like to go ahead and give a shout out to Metagames Unlimited for always hosting these. Gone there for a couple years, and their pre-release events are always super fantastic. Love those guys. All right. Now, if I remember correctly, how many packs are in this? I think it's 30 something. I could be wrong on that math. But let's see here. 36, that's correct. All right. Okay, well, let's get into our first pack. Oop. I am definitely not as good at opening these as my father is, so I may screw up a couple times, but he's also lived 21 years longer than me, so. First card we got here is Hunted Witness. Personally, I really like this card. Good for soldier token decks, 1-drop. Always love that. I did use it in my pre-release draft deck that I built. Came in handy quite a few times. Unexplained Experience. Got to love this. Instant, 2-drop, surveil one, and it bounces back to their hand. You know, blue is always really strong, but I just Dimir this round, and Izzet, of course, just really great this round. Cosmotronic Wave, you know, it's alright. It's not anything spectacular, but, you know, if you're going up against someone with tokens, you know, definitely it'll save your life for at least one turn. And can't block, so that's always nice. Intrusive Pack Beast, a little expensive, in my opinion, but does have vigilance. Yes, the 1-drop 0/3 Defender. You know, great for those flyers. Oh, actually, this one doesn't have reach. My bad. But yeah, great for those couple 1, 2-drops, even a 3-drop. Save you for one round. Never Happened. Kind of a little bit more of an expensive, not as great Duress. But really like the card art on this. Aaron Miller always does a great job. Goblin Electromancer. A favorite of my father's, actually. Blue-red. He loves it. Goblins are his favorite other than elves. I personally really like white-blue, white-blue-black. You know, a little white-red. But yeah, Sorcery Cards. You know, one less to cast, so. Notion Rain. Surveil 2. Draw 2 cards. 2 damage to you, but, you know, that's pretty inconsequential for a 3-drop. So, really great early game. And late game if you need that draw. Gravitic Punch. Deals damage equal to the power to target player. It's got Jumpstart. So, you know, bring it back from your graveyard. Gotta exile it after that, but hey, you can use it twice. Watcher in the Mist, great for a spirit deck. Love spirits. I used to play spirits back in Innistrad. Just about everyone did, but you know. It's a 6-drop, so it's a little expensive for a 3/4 with flying, but you do get a Surveil, so late game, it's pretty okay. Ah, yes, the Harpooner. I love these. Undergrowth is just a great mechanic. Really big on graveyard. Always have been. In fact, my last standard deck was Godfarer's Gift. So as you can tell, I really love digging in that graveyard. Rampaging Monument. Got Trample. It's alright, but you know, this is Ravnica, so you do cast a lot of multicolored spells, so getting that +1/+1 counter is probably not that hard. Street Riot. Nothing too special. You do get Trample, but it is a 5-drop, and you only get +1/+0, so not exactly my favorite card to come out this rotation. Runaway Steamkin. Really nice art on that, I think. Just love the colors. Would love to see it in foil. But, you know, get the +1/+1. Add 3 mana once you go ahead and remove those, so it's always nice. Oh, there we go. Golgari Guildgate for black-green. Soldier token. It's not a bad first pack. Go ahead and go to our second. There we go. Oh, Maximize Velocity. I already love this card. Used 2 of them in my pre-release deck. Really helped get me going, especially with Aurelia. I think I'm pronouncing her name right, but yeah, love that card. Healer Hawk. Yeah, it's got Flying, Lifelink, 1-drop. I mean, there's not more you can ask for. Not much more you can ask for. It's pretty great. You know, just a little 1-drop gives you Lifelink. Dazzling Lights. -3, -0, so it's okay. It's not that bad. But you do get a Surveil, so personally, that's pretty much all I'd use this card for. Surveil. Fire Urchin, Elemental. It's got Trample. You know, it's alright. I can't see it doing a whole lot with its Trample. I mean, it does get a +1 every time you cast an instant or sorcery, but it's only till end of turn, so I can't imagine that Trample's going to come in too handy fairly often, but you never know. Pack Favor does have Convoke, so you can tap creatures to play that spell. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. It's an instant, and it's only a 3-drop. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. It comes in handy. Child of Night, always a favorite of mine. 2 1-drop for 2. Lifelink. Nice new card art on that. Muse Drake, Flying. This little sucker here did annoy me a lot pre-release weekend. Didn't have a whole lot to combat with flying. Only had a couple cards in my deck, so they just kept hitting me with this, and I was like, yeah, I gotta do something about that. Selesnya Locket, probably will end up putting that in some deck. Do like that draw. Dead Weight, always a favorite. -2/2 on Enchanted Creature. Undercity Uprising, creatures you control gain Death Touch until end of turn. Then target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. For a 4-drop, Golgari, I think it's perfect. I really enjoy it. Demotion, can't block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. For a 1-drop, pretty powerful. Really do enjoy those 1-drop whites that really can screw over your enemy in just 1 turn. Selective Snare. I don't think I've seen this one yet. Let's see. X in blue. Return X target creatures of the creature type of your choice to the owner's hand. Not bad, especially if you're doing token decks. It doesn't go back to their hand, just goes poof. Oh, got a Goblin here. Goblin Banneret. Has Mentor, and you can tap 2 for +2/+0. Definitely not bad for a 1-drop. Chromatic Lantern. Tap for any mana color. Some people swear by these. I typically don't run more than 3 color. Most of the time I run 2 colors, so not too much draw for me, but for some other people, really helpful. Selesnya Guildgate. Really love that new card art. Just a huge fan of Selesnya. Just really love that white-green synergy. And another soldier token. So let's go on to our third pack. I'm going to start myself a little pile over here in the corner. Oh, and before I do move on, I did go ahead and get the pre-release promo. I set it out here to show you guys, but I forgot. It's Impervious Great Worm. He is a 10-drop, but he does have Convoke. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of him. If you were doing something like Saprolings or whatever, you could probably get him out for, you know, not using a whole lot of your mana, tapping a lot of those Saprolings. He is indestructible, but other than some cool card art, and it's nice and shiny, not necessarily my favorite. Go ahead and open another one of these. Skyline Scout. Actually, this card, you know, for 2, it's a 2/1. It can get flying. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. Not my favorite. I don't know if I'll put it in a deck this rotation, but we'll see. You never know. Wall of Mist, classic, 2-drop defender. Love Wall of Mist. Barrier of Bones, 1-drop defender, 0/3. And when it enters the battlefield, you can surveil 1. Like I've said before, surveils. That mechanic is just going to be huge this go around. Really, really love it. Generous Stray, 3-drop, 1/2. When it enters the battlefield, you get a draw card. This card's okay. Honestly, the only reason why I'd really like it too much, it's cat. I'm going to go ahead and admit I'm a cat person. I do have a cat myself. So, ooh, Pitiless Gorgon. Love, 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 love the card art on this. Just absolutely astounding. The color profile, just great. For a 3-drop 2/2 with Death Touch, Golgari, gotta love it. Fresh Face Recruit, another card that I did use in my pre-release deck this weekend. Honestly, he's not fantastic. Late game, he's pretty inconsequential, but if you can get him out on turn 2 and he's got first strike, you know, that can hold you for a couple rounds while you're trying to get something out. Artful Takedown, 4-drop, blue-black, instant. You can choose one or both. Tap target creature, or target creature gets -2/-4 until end of turn. For Dimir, you know, like I said earlier, Dimir's pretty strong this go around. Really loving the blue-black synergy. Personally, I really like it. I think it's pretty nice. Somalia Woodshaper, 4-drop green-white, elf druid, enters the battlefield. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or enchantment card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. You know, she is only a 2/1, but you can get some of that elf synergy going, maybe pump her up a little bit. Her main mechanic really is looking at those top 4 cards. It's really nice little added bonus. Devious Cover-Up, 4-drop, 2 blue, instant, counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into the graveyard. You may shuffle up to 4 target cards from your graveyard into the library. I personally really love this card, especially with Jumpstart now in rotation. This is a great way to get some of those jump-started cards out of your opponent's graveyard. That way you don't have to continue worrying about them. For 4, you can't get much better than that. You also get to delve a little bit into your graveyard, so that's really nice. Rhizome Lurcher. He looks a little wonky. I do like the card art. He's just looks a little bit like something I would have seen in a childhood horror film. 4-drop, black-green fungus zombie, got Undergrowth. I love, love, love Undergrowth, like I've said. 2/2, so you know, this might be turn 4, turn 5, you got a couple creatures in the graveyard, maybe you've discarded, maybe, you know, they just kicked the bucket. You can bring him out for quite a bit early game. Could change change some things for you, maybe get things going in the right direction. Molder Hulk, I apologize. 9-drop black green. Does have undergrowth. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard, so I imagine late game you can probably get him out for pretty cheap, maybe even free. When he does enter the battlefield, you can return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield. He is a 6/6. Obviously early game he's not doing much for you, but if you've, been doing a grueling battle, you've got a couple creatures in your graveyard, he can come in pretty handy. Wee Dragonauts, Fairy Wizard. Gotta love those Fairy Wizards. They're pretty peculiar looking. Always been a favorite of mine. Greg Staples does fantastic art. Love it. 3-drop blue-red, flying. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Wee Dragonauts gets +2/+0 until end of turn. It is a 1/3-drop. Personally, I really love this for Izzet. There's a lot of red sorceries and instants that you can cast for 1 or 2. Pump him up quite a bit. He is flying. See, early game, if you can get in past their defenses, take a couple hit points off of them. Golgari Find Broker, 4-drop, 2 blue, 2 green, Elf Shaman. When Golgari Find Broker enters the battlefield, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. It is a 3/4. I feel like it might be a little expensive, but it is an Elf Shaman and it is green, so you can probably get him in there pretty quickly. I don't know how quickly you'd want to use him. If he's returning target permanent to your hand, you might not have discarded or had anything die yet, but he's alright. Pelt Collector. I do love this card. I love this card. I actually pulled this in my pre-release and was kind of upset that I didn't have enough green to use with my white-red. It is a 1-drop, 1/1. Whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, if that creature's power is greater than Pelt Collector's, put a 1/1 counter on Pelt Collector. And as long as Pelt Collector has 3 or more 1/1 counters on it, he does have Trample. A hell of a card for a 1-drop, honestly. Really love him. I'm excited to see what people put him in as far as deck goes. And, if they... maybe even if he can become a staple, build a whole deck around him. I'm actually going to go ahead and put him in a perfect fit because I am probably going to use him in a deck. Not sure what kind of deck yet, but go ahead and sleeve him up. We got another Guildgate, Dimir Guildgate, blue-black, comes in tapped. And yet another soldier token. We've only got soldier tokens so far, but I figure I probably will need those, so go ahead and go into our 4th pack here. Let's see, looks like, yep, Wall of Mist, Defender, Wojek Bodyguard. I actually do like this card. I used it in my pre-release deck. It's a 2 and then 1 red mana. 3/3 Mentor. Can attack or block alone, which kind of is his crux, his Achilles heel. But, if you've got something else out, if you can use Sworn Companions, or, of course, if you have Aurelia, or, I can't think of the name right now, but it's a 2-drop, red-white, has double strike, trample, and what else? Is it lifelink, maybe? I can't remember. But pretty good, especially since it has Mentor. Take Heart. Do love this card, especially with that card I was just talking about. It's the 2-drop. It's a 1/1, but it has double strike. So you slap this down after they declare blockers, they're not too happy with you. Radical Idea. Instant. 2-drop. 1 blue. Draw a card. Jumpstart. If you are lacking some draw later game, this is pretty good, especially since it has Jumpstart. Spinal Centipede, probably one of my least favorites. I really don't like centipedes. It's a 3-drop black. When Spinal Centipede dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It is a 3/2. It's actually got pretty good value, especially for a 3-drop. Get that +1/+1 counter. Wild Ceratok, 4-drop, 1 green, 4/3. Not much going on there. Deadly Visit, 6-drop. 2 black, destroy target creature, surveil 2. Personally, I don't see this card getting used too much. It's costs way too much. You do get a surveil, but when Assassin's Trophy's out there, there's not much Not much use for this. You know, it is a very nice card, though. I really do like the art. Iron Shell Beetle. 2-drop, 1 green, insect. When Iron Shell Beetle enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. You know, he is only a 1/1, but he's a 2-drop, and got that +1/+1, so he's pretty alright. Rosemane Centaur. Love this card. Great art. Convoke, Vigilance. It's a 5-drop 4/4. This card's got a lot of stuff going on for it. I do see it being used a lot in green-white decks. It's got a lot of good synergy. Garrison Sergeant, 5-drop, red-white, has double strike as long as you control a gate, 3/3. Honestly, I think just about everyone's going to have a gate, so he probably is going to come in a lot of handy. That sentence doesn't make much sense, but you get my point. He is a little expensive, so I don't know exactly how much, but for late game, when you got all that extra mana, double strike can go a long way. Rock Charger. 3-drop, bird, flying. When he attacks, target attacking creature without flying gains flying until end of turn. He's a 1/3. Personally, I like this, especially with things with double strike. You know, get that flying out. Some people just don't have anything that they can use to counter flying, and you can just go right over their heads. Murmuring Mystic. 4-drop, 1 blue, human wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 blue bird illusion creature token with flying. It is a 1/5. Personally, I really love this card in both Izzet and Dimir decks. Being able to cast an instant or sorcery and then create a bird for a chump blocker and just continue doing that. There's really not much better you can get. Let's see. Silent Dart. 1-drop. To activate it, costs 4, tap, deals 3 damage to target creature. It is cheap, but the 4 and then tapping it for just 3 damage, I'm not sure if it's going to see a whole lot of play. I mean, with things like Assassin's Trophy and Murder, I just don't see it really getting that far. It is constant, though, so you can continue to tap, but don't know how useful that's going to be. Well, here we go. Niv Mizzet, Parun, 6-drop, 3 blue, 3 red. This spell cannot be countered. He does have flying. Pretty self-explanatory. You know, when you draw a card with Niv Mizzet, he deals 1 damage to any target, and when a player casts an instant or sorcery, you get to draw a card. He is great. Honestly, I love him. Love the card art. Great effects, you know, can't be countered. He's a 5/5. I am going to go ahead and put him in a perfect fit as well because just really nice card. Good hit on our, I think that's our 4th pack. So, oh, putting it in upside down. There we go. I do try and keep perfect fits on me for the most part, but I may run out. Let's see. Last 2 cards, Selesnya Guildgate and Elf Knight. First token that's not a soldier. Come in handy. Got Vigilance. Alright, well, we got quite a few more of these to open. Guys are welcome to talk in the chat if you have any questions. I'm going to go ahead and reorder my piles. I do have a pile specifically for lands, so I don't have to go back and find them all again. Alright, let's see. I think this is our 5th pack. So let's go ahead. Rubble Belt Boar. He looks pretty mean. 4-drop, 1 red. When he enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And he has a 3/3. You know, not bad, especially for a red deck with that +2/+0. I can imagine using that. Collar the Culprit. Destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. This is great, especially with some of those really big green cards. I personally love this to go against Stompy. It is a little expensive, but it is an instant, so I'll forgive it a little bit. Passwall Adept, 2-drop, 1 blue. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. All you have to do is pay 2 and 1 blue. It's a 1/3 drop. Not bad. I do appreciate having cards that prevent people from blocking. Severed Strands, really love the card art on this. It's a 2-drop, 1 black. It is a sorcery, and as an additional cost to cast this spell, you have to sacrifice a creature. You gain life equal to that sacrificed creature's toughness and destroy target creature an opponent controls. Really great, especially on those big green cards, like I said before. All you have to do is sack a creature, you gain some life. You know, not bad. Generous Stray, got another one of those. You know, cats are a thing in Standard right now, I still believe. I don't think that set completely rotated out, so, you know, it is white. So you could probably add some green in there, do a green-white cat deck. Let's see, Candlelight Vigil, 4-drop, white, enchantment aura. I'm going to say this a million times, but really love the card art. As an artist myself, my main thing that gravitates me towards cards is the card art. Second being its effects. I'm going to go ahead and admit that. It is an enchantment, and it gets +3/+2 and has vigilance. Personally, I would think this card wouldn't be worth it if it didn't have vigilance, but that vigilance really pushes it over the edge, especially for late game. Sonic Assault. Had this used on me quite a few times yesterday. It is a 3-drop blue-red instant. Tap target creature, deals 2 damage to that creature's controller. Also has Jumpstart. This is really great. I love this card for Izzet decks. It's just phenomenal. Rhizome Lurcher, 4-drop, black-green, has Undergrowth. Fresh Face Recruit. Mephetic Vapors. I think I pronounced that right. I think that's, yeah, Mephetic. 3-drop, black, sorcery. All creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. You get a Surveil. Really is good against token decks, I think would be the main thing here. The only drawback is, of course, your creatures also get the -1/-1. But if you're late game and a lot of your creatures are mainly pretty big, pretty inconsequential, you get a Surveil too, so that's nice. Undercity Necrolisk, 4-drop, zombie lizard. Pay 1 colorless, sacrifice another creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Undercity Necrolisk. It gains menace until end of turn. You can only activate this ability when you cast a sorcery. At any time you would cast a sorcery, I apologize. It is a 3/3. It's a little expensive, but that tapping 1 and sacrificing kind of puts it over the edge since it does gain menace. For late game, especially if you're trying to pile drive through to those last couple hit points, they might only have 1 big bad out on the floor. This can really help you out. Oh, we got a duel here. Discovery is a 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 blue-black. Surveil 2, then draw a card. Pretty nice. Dispersal, 5-drop. 1 blue, 1 black instant. Each opponent returns a non-land permanent they control with the highest converted mana cost among permanents they control to its owner hand, and then discard a card. Honestly, this card is middle of the line for me. I do like Discovery. Dispersal is a little bit too expensive for me. I don't see myself using it that often, but it would be worth putting in a Dimir deck just for the Discovery. City Watch Sphinx. 6-drop, 5/4 with flying. When he dies, you get a Surveil 2. A little expensive for my taste. He does have flying and is a 5/4. You get a Surveil when he dies, but late game, if I'm spending 6 mana on something, I want it to do a little bit more. Citywide Bust, 3, 2 white. Sorcery, destroy all creatures with toughness 4 or greater. A little bit of a double-edged sword. If you have tokens, this is great. You probably don't have toughness 4 or greater, but a little bit of a double-edged sword. Selesnya Guildgate and Soldier Token. We'll go ahead to pack number 6. Let's see here. Ornery Goblin, 2-drop. Love those goblins. I am going to go ahead and throw this away. Goblins I have a love-hate relationship with goblins. My father typically plays goblins, so when I say I love them, they typically are good cards, but I hate them a little bit because that's typically what he plays and he always beats me. Not sure if that would be the case anymore since I tend to be playing a little bit more than him, but you never know. He is a 2-drop red 2/1, and whenever Ornery Goblin blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, Ornery Goblin deals 1 damage to that creature. Personally, I think this is a great card. I do see it kind of being a staple in red Goblin decks. That 1 damage is great, especially early game. Skyline Scout, Wall of Mist, Severed Strands. Like I said earlier, great card. Great card. Blade Instructor. This one's a new one. Do like that card art. 3-drop, 1 white, Human Soldier. Does have Mentor and it is a 3/1. I would like to see it have a little bit more toughness, but it does have Mentor, so I can forgive that. Generally a pretty okay card. Command the Storm. 5-drop, 1 red, instant. Deals 5 damage to target creature. This is an instant, but personally, too expensive for me. Does deal 5 damage. It's just not my favorite. Capture Sphere. I hate this card because it typically gets used against me, but it is a great card. 4-drop. Can't untap. So you basically, your opponent's got you with Vigilance. Flash it in. He's not untapping that anytime soon. Got a Golgari Locket. 3-drop, add black or green, sacrifice it, and get to draw 2 cards. Do really love these. Maniacal Rage. 2-drop, 1 red, enchantment aura. Enchant creature gets +2/+2 and can't block. Personally, I do like this card. The not being able to block is a little bit inconsequential for me. I think that in the right deck, this could really work well. Goblin Crater Maker, 2-drop, 1 red. If you spend 1 colorless, sacrifice Goblin Crater Maker, and you get to choose 1. Deal 2 damage, or destroy target colorless non-land permanent. Personally, I think this is great. I do see it kind of becoming a staple in Goblin decks this round in Standard. He's got a lot of utility going on. Wand of Vertebra. 1-drop, artifact. Tap, put top card of your library into your graveyard. 2 colorless, tap, exile Wand of Vertebra, shuffle up to 5 target cards from your graveyard into your library. I do see this becoming a staple with Golgari, as that is pretty graveyard heavy. Has a lot of utility, especially for a 1-drop. Really do love this card. Thoughtbound Phantasm, 1-drop. Defender, when you surveil, put a +1/+1 counter on Thoughtbound Phantasm. As long as he has 3 or more 1/1 counters on it, it can attack as though it didn't have Defender. It is a 2/2 starting out. Personally, this is a fantastic, phenomenal card. For 1, getting that 2/2 Defender out, and then as long as you can surveil, you get a +1/+1. So at that point, he's a 5/5 when he can no longer be counted as just a defender. Honestly, great card. Love the art, love the mechanics, all around great card. Ooh! Oh, one of my faves here. Thief of Insanity, 3-drop, blue-black, Spectre, flying. Whenever Thief of Insanity deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of that player's library. Exile 1 of them face down, then put the rest into their graveyard. For as long as that card remains exiled, you may look at it, you may cast it, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast that spell. It is a 2/2 drop. I am going to put this in a perfect fit. I do love this card. I am going to probably use it in a deck. I probably am going to try to make a Golgari, make a Dimir, and make a Boros deck. Boros is probably my favorite right now. I just love that red-white. But I really would like to make a Golgari and Dimir as well. Plague Crafter, nice shiny foil there. That looks really great. I think Wizards has always done a really good job with their foil cards. They really pop well. The color just looks really nice. 3-drop, 1 black, Human Shaman. He is a 3/2. When he enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, and each player who can't discards a card. Personally, for a 3-drop, I think he has a lot of utility. I do like him. I think that he can be widely used, especially in blue-black and green-black decks. Maybe even a little white-black, which I do myself like to play. Is it Guildgate? Set that over here with our lands and got another soldier token. Alright, well, let's rearrange a little bit here before it gets too out of control. I have been known to get a little out of control with my card stacks. It's a personal flaw of mine. I will admit it. Go ahead and open this one. Unexplained Disappearance, yet another one. Do really love this card, as I said before. For a 2-drop, get to bounce something back to the hand to get a Surveil 1. Can't get much better than that. Cosmotronic Wave, like I said earlier, it's alright. It's not great. I don't see it getting a whole lot of use. Intrusive Pack Beast does have Vigilance, and you can tap 2 target creature your opponent control, but it is a little expensive for me. Radical Idea, love this card. 2-drop, draw a card, jumpstart instant. It's pretty great. Crawl Forgers, 5-drop, green, Insect Scout. It is a 4/4. It has Undergrowth. When Crawl Forgers enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life for each creature card in your graveyard. This is fantastic for Golgari graveyard decks. Love seeing this card. Probably will end up using it at some point. Burglar Rat, 2-drop, 1 black. When he enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. He is a 1/1, and, you know, makes your opponent discard a card, but I do see that that can backfire on you a little bit depending on who you're playing up against. Portcullis Vine, 1-drop, 0/3 defender. Watcher in the Mist. Like I said earlier, a little bit expensive for me, but he does have Surveil, so I can forgive him a little bit. Rosemane Centaur, still love this card. The Convoke on it just really pushes it. That and the Vigilance really pushes it as something I would use. Pause for Reflection. 3-drop, 1 green, instant, Convoke. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Really love this card. I love cards that, you know, you can just pop in for pretty cheap, especially tapping your creatures and preventing combat damage, allowing you to stay around for just 1 more turn, and sometimes that's all it takes. Necrotic Wound, an oldie but a goodie. Love this card. Black, instant, Undergrowth. Target creature gets -XX until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Love that card art on it. Colors are just amazing. Randy Vargas, great job all around, every time. Creeping Chill, 4-drop, black. Sorcery, Creeping Chill deals 3 damage to each opponent and you gain 3 life. If this card is put into your graveyard from your library, you may exile it, and if you do, Creeping Chill deals 3 damage to each opponent and you gain 3 life. Personally, I think that's great. I really enjoy this card. I can see using it myself. Sinister Sabotage, 3-drop, 2 blue, instant, counters target spell, Surveil 1. Like I said earlier in the break, blue is always fairly strong, but with the Izzet and the Dimir, you know, this card's just amazing. Counter and Surveil, really enjoy it. Mission Briefing. This is one of my favorite cards out of the set, purely for the art. Matt Stewart does a great job. This card is actually a 2-drop, 2 blue, instant, Surveil 2, then choose an instant or sorcery card in your graveyard. You may cast that card this turn. If that card would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. I mean, other than the great card art, this card is fantastic. You see it getting a lot of use. I'm going to go ahead and put it in a perfect fit, because I imagine myself using this probably even this week. Golgari Guildgate, and another soldier token. I did use quite a few of my perfect fits the other night and forgot to buy more, so I may run out here soon and might just have to put some in some regular sleeves, but I think that'll be okay. Alright, and let's get down to the next pack. My sticky note I have here telling me where to put my hand so I don't overshoot it. Keeps peeling up off the mat. But I think I'm doing a pretty okay job. Oh, here we go. Second Hunted Witness. Love that card. 1-drop, 1/1. When he dies, you get a soldier token. Veladin Mesmerist. 2-drop. Veldikin Wizard. 2/1. Whenever he attacks, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-0 until end of turn. I do like this card for a 2-drop. You know, that's really all it could take to keep him alive and keep you going. Fearless Halbrider. Halbreder. I'm not pronouncing that correct, but you get the idea. 3-drop, 3/2. Not a whole lot going on there, but it's pretty alright. Hitchclaw Recluse, 3-drop, green. Reach, 1/4. I do like this card because it has reach, and it is only a 3-drop and does have a considerable amount of toughness. So, while I can't imagine using a lot, it is a nice filler. Barrier of Bones. Second one I think we've pulled today. Love that art. For a 1-drop defender that you can surveil, doesn't get much better than that. Hammer Dropper. I did use this pre-release weekend. I pulled one of those. You know, he's pretty alright. He does have Mentor, which is what my main draw was for him. He doesn't have otherwise a whole lot going on, but, you know, pretty alright. Demir Locket. First one we got of those. Blue-black. And sacrifice to draw 2 cards. Luminous Bonds. One of my favorites, you know. I love just hanging people up. They can't block. Swing for 22. There's nothing they can do about it. 3-drop. Candlelight Vigil. Like I said earlier, I love this card. It is a little expensive, but, you know, that vigilance really puts it over the edge. Piston Fist Cyclops. 3-drop, 2 blue or red. Defender. As long as you've cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, Piston Fist Cyclops can attack as though it didn't have Defender. He is a 4/3 personally, even though he's a defender. Initially, you're casting an instant or sorcery fairly often enough that I think that you can really pile drive through with him. I do really enjoy him for Izzet decks. Oh, here's another one that I used this pre-release weekend. Integrity. 1-drop red or white. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It is an instant. And Intervention. 4-drop red-white. Instant. Deals 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. Hazda Marshall. I don't think I've seen this one yet. It is a white 1-drop, 1/1. Whenever Hazda Marshall and at least 2 other creatures attack, you get a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. Personally, I think this card is perfect for token soldier decks. You know, you can kind of have him out on the field. You may play him first turn and hit for 1, but by turn 3, if you can get a couple, if you can get Sworn Companions out, get a couple more soldier creature tokens, and then next turn attack with him, you got another one. So I think that card's pretty great, actually. Inspiring Unicorn. Not to be confused with Mesa Unicorn. 4-drop, 2 white. Whenever Inspiring Unicorn attacks, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. It is a 2/2. Honestly, it's a little expensive, but you do get the +1/+1 until end of turn. I don't think I personally would use it, but in token decks, it actually probably wouldn't be that bad. Hatchery Spider, 7-drop, 2 green, has reach, 5/7, does have undergrowth. When you cast the spell, reveal top X cards, X being the number of creature cards in your graveyard. You may put a green permanent card with converted mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any random order. Honestly, I do like this card. I don't like spiders, but I do like this card. It's got some nice undergrowth going on. Pretty great for Golgari decks. Selesnya Guildgate, got another one of those, and another soldier token. All right. Let's see here. Not even a third of the way done. Let's see. All right. Go to our next pack. See if I can open this efficiently. Sure Strike. Love that card. One of my faves. 2-drop. 1 colorless, 1 red. Instant. Target creature gains +3/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. I love using this card and comboing it personally with that, that I keep forgetting the name of, that 2-drop, 1 red, 1 white soldier token that has double strike. They may think, oh, that's just a 1/1, hit me for 2. Don't declare blockers. Go ahead and use that instant. Hit him for 8 instead. See, Righteous Blow, 1-drop white, instant, deals 2 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. For 2 damage, honestly, that for a 1-drop, it's an instant. That could be all it takes to keep you alive for the next round. So I do like that card. Veldekin Mesmerist, did see that earlier. Vigor Spore Worm. I am not a big fan of the worms, I gotta tell you, they creep me out a little bit, but I do like the card. 6-drop, 1 green, Undergrowth. When he enters the battlefield, target creature gains Vigilance and plus XX until the end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Vigor Spore Worm can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. He's a 6/4. Personally, I do like this for late game. Can't be blocked by more than 1 creature, so your chances of killing him go down. And then, of course, gaining that Vigilance and then XX for a number of creature cards in your graveyard late game. Pretty nice card. Never Happened. 3-drop, 1 black. Reveals your hand. Choose a non-land card from that player's graveyard or hand and exile it. Like I said earlier, it's a little expensive for me. But it is a pretty alright card. Muse Drake, Gateway Plaza. I think that's the first one we've pulled from this. I did get one earlier in the weekend. It enters the battlefield tapped, but when it enters the battlefield, you can sacrifice it unless you play 1 and add 1 mana of any color. It's alright. It's not my favorite, but you know, if it's your first land drop, not bad. Dead Weight. Love Dead Weight. 1 black, -2/2 enchantment. Undercity Uprising, second one we've got of these. I did get another one, so now I have 3 earlier this weekend. 4-drop, Death Touch until end of turn, and then you can force a couple creatures to fight. Oh, here we go. Invert and Invent. Invert is a 1-drop blue-red instant. Switch the power and toughness of each of up to 2 target creatures. And Invent, 6-drop, instant, search your library for an instant card and or sorcery card, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. I can see myself using Invert quite a bit. Personally not sure about Invent, maybe late game, but for 6 mana, don't see myself using that a whole lot. Enhanced Surveillance. Do love this card. 2-drop, 1 blue enchantment. You may look at an additional 2 cards each time you surveil. Exile Enhanced Surveillance to shuffle your graveyard into your library. This card is broken. I'm gonna admit it. It's broken, but I love it. It's a good type of broken. As much as you surveil, and as much as you will surveil in this next set, that pretty much pays for itself, but then to be able to exile it and shuffle your graveyard into your library and basically say, let's do the time warp again, you know, pretty great card. Circuitous Root, 4-drop, 1 green, sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and or gate cards. Put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. For some green growth, for 4, I typically wouldn't say this is very good, but the fact that you get gate cards, I would be willing to put this in my deck. Deafening Clarion, 3-drop, red-white. Sorcery, choose 1 or both. Deafening Clarion deals 3 damage to each creature. Creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn. For 3, I personally like this. I don't know how much I would use the dealing 3 damage to each creature. But the lifelink until end of turn, if that could get me to the next round, I do imagine I could use that myself. Oh, nice and shiny. I love this card. I love the art on it, and then to get it foiled, that's pretty nice. Ledev Guardian, 4-drop, 1 white, human knight, is a 2/4. It has Convoke. It is a little expensive, but it does have Convoke, so I could see myself using it. But I will admit my main attraction to it is the card art. Got another Dimir Guildgate and a soldier. I think before this is over, we might have enough soldiers to form an army. I'm not quite sure. Let's see, put our Guildgate over there. Ledev Guardian. So I believe this is pack 11, I believe. I'm not really keeping that great account, I will admit, but I do believe it is pack 11. Almost a third of the way done. Disdainful Stroke, 2-drop, 1 blue, instant. Counter target spell with converted mana cost 4 or greater. I'm a little, I will admit, I'm a little torn on this card because I can see it being great, but the fact that the mana cost has to be 4 or greater, of course, for starting game, there's not much use to it, so I wouldn't want to have it in my starting hand, but if I could pull it maybe turn 2 or turn 3 and keep someone from getting something nice on the board, or heck, even countering another spell, I could see that being pretty useful. Barging Sergeant, 5-drop, haste with Mentor. It's a 4/2. It does have haste, so I can forgive the 5-drop a little bit, but personally, I don't imagine myself using this a whole lot. It does have Mentor, which is really nice, and I do really like that mechanic, but I can't imagine myself using this too much. Wary Okapi, 3-drop, 1 green, has Vigilance, and is a 3/2. A 3-drop with 3/2 with Vigilance, can't ask for a whole lot more. It's pretty basic, but, you know, I like it. Douser of Lights. Really love that contrast on the card. Love that color contrast. 5-drop, 1 black. It's a 4/5. You know, it's a pretty basic card. Doesn't have a whole lot going on for it, but, you know, maybe, if black's your thing. Fresh Face Recruit. Mephetic Vapors. Do like that with the Surveil, but I do feel like it's a bit of a double-edged sword. But, you know, -1/-1, unless you're playing tokens, not much of a consequence. Blade Instructor. Command the Storm. Still think that's a little bit too expensive, but you never know. Capture Sphere. I keep wanting to call it a fear. I don't know what a fear is, but you know, we'll figure that out eventually, maybe. Golgari Locket. Might of the Masses. Excited to get one of these already. So early. It is a 1-drop green instant. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature you control. For in-game tokens, speaks for itself. Thought Erasure. I love this card. I love the card art. I love what it does. It's great. It's a blue-black sorcery. Target of opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card, and you get a Surveil 1. Flight of Equinox. 8-drop. Ooh, Convoke. Okay, so it does have Convoke. It's a flying, but it's only a 4/5. I can't imagine myself using this. I can imagine that, you know, if you're playing a human knight token deck, you maybe could get that out for pretty cheap, but personally, I don't see myself using it. Mnemonic Betrayal. 3-drop, 1 blue, 1 black. Exile all cards from all opponents' graveyards. You may cast those cards this turn, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast those spells. At the beginning of the next end step, if any of those cards remain exiled, return them to their owners' graveyards. Exile Mnemonic Burial. This card is quite frankly one of my favorites for Dimir right now. I am going to go ahead and put it in a perfect fit. It is a fantastic card. The ability to basically rifle through your opponent's graveyard for 3, absolutely perfect. Go ahead and put that in there. Secure him up nice and tight. All right, and we got a Selesnya Guildgate and another soldier. Whoever would have guessed. I'd be surprised at this point if we got anything else other than soldiers. We only got 1 elf knight. Let's see here. Maximize Velocity. I think that's maybe the second one we've pulled. Really do enjoy that card. Healer Hawk. Like I said before, 1/1, 1-drop, flying lifelink. Not much more you can ask for. Dazzling Lights. I do love this because you get a Surveil 2 for 1 blue. So personally, I think for myself, even if I didn't have a target creature to get -3, -0/4, I could still imagine myself using it if I really needed the cards. Fire Urchin, 2-drop, elemental with trample. Like I said, yeah, I can imagine maybe in a red deck that you could probably give it that +1/+0, but I don't imagine that trample mechanic getting used too much. Crawl Foragers, it's got that undergrowth. Do love that, life gain. Moodmark Painter, 4-drop, black. As I've said a million times this stream, Scott Murphy, one of my favorite artists. This card's phenomenal. Human Shaman with undergrowth. It is a 2/3. When Moonmark Painter enters the battlefield, target creature gains menace and gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. This card, for me, maybe a little expensive, but that target creature does get menace, and if this is late game, being able to get +X/+0 for a number of creature cards, that can really make or break you. Direct Current, I do love this card. I know some people might think it's a little expensive for just 2 damage, but it does have Jumpstart on it, so I can use it twice. I personally feel like it's worth it. Second Gateway Plaza, Goblin Electromancer. I love this card. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. It's a 2/2 2-drop, 1 blue, 1 red. Goblin Wizard. Honestly, this card, I really have a hard time imagining that it wouldn't be a staple. And is it going forward? But we'll see. You never know. People can surprise you. Siege Worm, 7-drop, 2 green, does have Convoke and Trample. It's a 5/5. I don't imagine myself using this in a green deck. It's a little expensive for me, even with Convoke, and it is only a 5/5, so, it's pretty middle of the road. Boros Challenger, I do like this card for 2, 1 red, 1 green, has Mentor, it's a 2/3, and it does have the ability late game, tap 4, 1 red, 1 white, gets +1/+1 until end of turn, which can definitely be helpful for going ahead and popping off that Mentor. If you got another drop on the board that only has 2 power, plus it up a little bit, go ahead and get that +1/+1 for another card, especially if that other card has Mentor, so you can just keep the love going. Gatekeeper Gargoyle, 6-drop, flying. Gatekeeper Gargoyle enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each gate you control. It is a 3/3. Little expensive for me, even with gates. I imagine everyone will probably have at least 2 in their deck. I mean, gates aren't phenomenal, but, if you've got that first draw, that's, it's not bad. So let's see here. Grappling Sundew. It's a 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 green, Defender Reach, 0/4. Tap 5, 1 green, Grappling Sundew gains Indestructible till end of turn. This is great, especially since it does have Reach. They think they're going to fly over you late game, hit you for quite a bit. Go ahead and block with this. Give it Indestructible, no matter how tough it is. As long as it doesn't have Trample, keep you in good shape for at least 1 more round. Tajik Legion's Edge, 3-drop, 1 colorless, 1 red, 1 white. Has Haste and Mentor, and you can prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control. And then for 2, 1 red, 1 white, he gains first strike until end of turn. He is a 3/2. Personally, I see myself using this a lot. I love this card. It's a great card. Card art's great. And I imagine he will pair well with Aurelia. So I am going to go ahead and put him in a 1-touch. Not a 1-touch, I apologize. A perfect fit. It's been a long day. It's been a long week. Okay, is it Guildgate? I think that's the second one we've got. And a soldier token. Okay, we are now officially almost 1/3 of the way through the box. Got another Hunted Witness. Go ahead and stick those over there. Gotta love that 1-drop. Unexplained Disappearance, great card. Cosmotronic Wave, middle of the road. Portcullis Vine, you know, for 1-drop, not that bad. And you can sacrifice a creature with Defender to draw cards, so definitely nothing to shake a stick at. Dowser of Lights. Verdani, is it Vernati, Shieldmate, 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 green, 1 white. Does have Vigilance, and it's a 2/2. Personally, I think this is great, especially with Vigilance, and it is a human soldier, so works great with soldier decks. Piston Fist Cyclops, like I said earlier, this card is great. I can imagine you cast instants and sorceries, especially playing blue-red often enough, that this can attack and punch through pretty quickly, often enough to make it worthwhile. Pitiless Gorgon, love this card, 3-drop, Death Touch. Hammer Dropper, pretty middle of the road. Artful Takedown, I do like this card, you know, get that ability to tap. It is a little expensive, but it is an instant. So, you know, I can imagine myself maybe using a couple times. Oh, first one of these. I do enjoy this card. Flower and Flourish. It is a 1 green or white. Sorcery, search your library for a basic forest or plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Great as a, you know, first turn. Flourish, 6-drop, 1 green, 1 white. Creatures you control gain +2/+2 until end of turn. Late game, especially with tokens, like I've said before, works great. Sprouting Renewal, 3-drop, 1 green, sorcery, Convoke. Choose 1, create a 2/2 green and white elf knight creature token with vigilance, or destroy target artifact or enchantment. I do like this because it has Convoke, and you do get the option to pick the 2/2 with vigilance or destroy an artifact or enchantment. Artifacts and enchantments have been pretty big lately, so I do see that this could get plenty of play. Oh, first one of these. Let's see here. Status and Statue. 1-drop, black, green, instant, target creature gets +1/+1 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. Statue, 4-drop, black, green, instant, destroy target artifact, creature, enchantment. For Golgari, honestly, this status is enough to get this into my deck, but Statue is actually pretty great too. Late game, you can destroy pretty much anything you want. It is an instant. It's a little expensive, but late game, not too worried about that. Dawn of Hope, 2-drop, 1 white, enchantment. Whenever you gain a life, you may pay 2 if you do draw a card. For 4, 1 white, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. I do like this card, especially if you can go ahead and get it out early. You know, just keep creating those creature tokens, chump blocking with them, get that lifelink going. Boroskill Gate, do you really like this card? And Soldier. Okay, so we are officially 1/3 of the way through our box. I'm going to take a drink of water, if you will excuse me for a moment. And then I'll go ahead and start opening our second set of packs. It does look like my director wants some water, so if you'll excuse the door, he's going to go get some himself as he chuckles in the background. Alright, Barging Sergeant. Like I said earlier, it's got haste, but it is a little expensive. 10th District Guard, 2-drop, 2/2. When 10th District Guard enters the battlefield, target creature gets +1/+0. For a 2-drop, honestly, getting that +1/+0, it makes it worthwhile. It's a nice filler card for your deck. Disdainful Stroke, Torch Courier. I love this card. I love it. It's a red 1-drop, 1/1 goblin with haste. But then later to be able to go ahead and sacrifice him and add haste to another creature, I really do like that. Vigor Spore Worm, never happened. Boros Locket. Always need another one of those. Notion Rain. Surveil 2, 2 damage, but for 3, it's pretty nice. Pause for Reflection. Do love that card. Watcher in the Mist. Chemister's Insight. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, 4-drop, 1 blue, instant. Get to draw 2 cards. Does have Jumpstart. Okay, typically I would say it's a little expensive, but it does have Jumpstart. And drawing 2. I don't know. I might have a couple in my deck. I don't imagine myself using this too often, but late game, where I need that draw, I could certainly see it. Great card art. Love those colors. Beam Splitter Mage. This is a 2-drop blue-red creature, Veldican Wizard. He looks a little Thanos-y to me. I know he's blue, but yeah, he looks a little Thanos-y. He is a 2/2, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Beam Splitter Mage, if you control one or more other creatures that spell could target, choose one of those creatures. Copy that spell. The copy targets the chosen creature. I'm trying to think. That, actually, that's pretty nice. Yeah, I do like that. I could see myself using that quite a bit. Sunhome Stalwart, 2-drop, 1 white. First strike, Mentor. This is the first I've seen of this card. I actually do like it with that first strike, and it does have Mentor for a 2-drop. That's pretty nice. Knight of Autumn. I love this card. This card's great. It's a 3-drop, 1 green, 1 white, Dryad Knight, I apologize. When Knight of Autumn enters the battlefield, you can choose 1, put 2 +1/+1 counters on the Knight of Autumn, destroy target artifact or enchantment, or you can gain 4 life. This card has a lot going for it. It is only a 2/1, but early game, go ahead and put the +1/+1 counters on it. Mid-game, late game, destroying that artifact, gaining life. There's really just nothing I can see wrong with this card here. Another, is it Guildgate? Oh, and our first blue illusion. I actually do really like these tokens. They're pretty slick looking. Put that, is it Guildgate, over here. And I think I am going to go ahead and put Miss Autumn in a perfect fit, because I see myself probably making a deck with her. All right. Demir Informant. Okay. All right, let's see. It's a 3-drop, 1 blue, human rogue. When Demir Informant enters the battlefield, you can surveil 2. It does have 1/4. For 3, surveilling 2, it's got pretty good toughness. Yeah, I think that's all right. I don't imagine using it a ton, but it is a pretty all right card. Rubble Belt Boar, Skyline Scout, Pass Wall Adept, Douser of Lights, Urban Utopia. Let's see here. It's a 2-drop, 1 green, enchantment aura, enchant land. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. The enchanted land has tap 1, add 1 mana of any color. This is great. I actually have not seen this card yet. I tried not to spoil myself too much for the new release. Honestly, this card is quite great. I hope to get 4 of them. Would like to use them in my deck. Just anything with green, really. Just that added mana ramp can really help push you over the edge. Let's see. I'm going to set that aside. I'm not going to put it in a perfect fit, but I do imagine I'm going to try and build a deck and use that in it. Muse Drake, Gateway Plaza, Dead Weight, oldie but a goodie. Undercity Uprising, love that Death Touch. Invent, Necrotic Wound, love this card. Thought Erasure, good to see another one of those. Oh, got something new here. Gruesome Menagerie. 6-drop, 2 black, sorcery. Choose a creature card with converted mana cost 1 in your graveyard, then do the same for creature cards with converted mana cost 2 and 3. Return those cards to the battlefield. This card is fantastic. It's a little expensive, but to get 3 creature cards and return them immediately to the battlefield, I can see this getting used quite a bit. An Is It Guildgate, and an Elf Knight. Oh, put that in the wrong stack there. Trying to keep all my stacks organized. It's a little bit easier said than done. Set that Menagerie off to the side. I do think I'm going to try and put that in my Golgari deck. See what I can build around that. I will admit I'm not the best deck builder. Some decks I build are better than others, but I do enjoy it. I think it's fun. Alright, Fire Urchin, Intrusive Pack Beast, Child of Night, Wary Okapi, Blade Instructor, Command the Storm, Capture Sphere, Golgari Locket, Maniacal Rage. Oh, let's see here. Hired Poisoner. 1-drop, 1/1 with Death Touch. Human Assassin. I do like this. Right out of the gate. 1-drop. Death Touch. That's pretty nice. Conclave Tribunal. Ooh, fabulous art on that. Love those colors. 4-drop, 1 white enchantment. It does have Convoke, and when Conclave Tribunal enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Conclave Tribunal leaves the battlefield. That is pretty nice, especially with Convoke. You know, there's the possibility that, you know, you get double exiled, so it comes back, but pretty nice card. Lotleth Giant, 7-drop, creature, zombie giant, 6/5 with Undergrowth. When Lotleth Giant enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target opponent for each creature card in your graveyard. This is expensive, yes, it's a 7-drop, and getting a, 2 turn 7 and having this in your hand, that is something. But it does deal 1 damage to target opponent for each creature card in your graveyard. So I think that maybe having 2 in your Golgari deck for endgame, you might just discard it if you don't need it. But personally, I think this is actually pretty alright. Crush Contraband. He looks like he's enjoying that maybe a little bit too much. It's a 4-drop, white, instant, choose 1 or both. Exile target artifact, exile target enchantment. Okay, I can see why he's enjoying that as much as he is. Okay, for 4 instant, exile both those, that's definitely not bad. I can see myself using that. Okay, what do we have here? Lazov the Multifarious. It's a 2-drop, 1 blue, 1 black, legendary creature, shapeshifter. It's a 1/3. When Lazov the Multifarious enters the battlefield, surveil 1. For X, Lazov the Multifarious becomes a copy of target creature card in your graveyard with converted mana cost X, except its name is Lazov the Multifarious. It's legendary in addition to its other types, and it has this ability. Yeah, that's nice. I do like that, especially with the Surveil and the X, to be able to go ahead and turn it into whatever you want. I personally, coming off the top of my head, I can't imagine what I would want to turn him into. Like I said earlier, I tried not to spoil myself too much for this release. But yeah, I can see this being a pretty powerful card. I do like this. If I make a Dimir deck, I might try and slip him in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put him in a perfect fit. I really do love these perfect fits. Let's see. And that does seem to be my last one. So I am going to ask my executive director to pass me a pack of cards. I mean, not cards. Sleeves, if he would be so kind. It does seem that he's a little busy over there at the moment. Probably checking the Twitter. Also got a Dimir Guildgate and a Goblin token to round out the pack. All right, go ahead and open these so I have them handy. All right, let's see here. Collar the Culprit. Destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater, 4-drop instant. I think this is the second one we've gotten of these. Personally, you know, I don't see this card getting used too much, but late game, I might use it once or twice. Passwall Adept, Vigor Spore Worm, Burglar Rat, Hired Poisoner. Do really like that card. Vernati Shieldmate. Hypnothizzle. There we go. It's a 5-drop, 1 blue, 1 red instant. Draw 2 cards, then you may discard a non-land card. When you do, Hypnothizzle deals 4 damage to target creature. It's a little expensive. It is an instant. You get to draw 2, and then the 4 damage. For me, I don't know how often I would use it, but I do really love that card art. Might put it in a deck just so I can look at that. Let's see here. 1-drop green, Prey Upon, sorcery. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. This card is great. Being able to force that, it's honestly for just 1 green is phenomenal. Hammer Dropper. I think we've gotten 3 of him now. Demir Locket. Ledev Champion. 1 colorless, 1 green, 1 white. Elf Knight. You may... Let's see. Whenever Ledev Champion attacks, you may tap any number of untapped creatures you control. Ledev Champion gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature tapped this way. For 5, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. Honestly, I do like this card. It's only a 3-drop and it is a 2/2. Even without being able to create a soldier creature token late game, I think it would be worth it. Guild Summit. 2 colorless, 1 blue, enchantment. When Guild Summit enters the battlefield, you may tap any number of untapped gates you control. Draw a card for each gate tapped this way. Whenever a gate enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This card, for me, I can't imagine myself ever using it. Card art's really nice, actually, but it's very limited in scope of what you can do as far as it only applying to gates. Let's see. Glowspore Shaman. Ooh, that looks really slick. It is a 2-drop, 1 black, 1 green. When Glowspore Shaman enters the battlefield, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. You may put a land card from your graveyard on top of your library. It's a 3/1. This card's phenomenal. I love this. I am definitely going to put it in my Golgari deck. Love that card. Mausoleum Secrets. Let's see here. 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 black, instant. Undergrowth. Search your library for a black card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. This actually is pretty great. If you've got, let's just go ahead and say Assassin's Trophy in your graveyard, that's only another 2. Go ahead and cast that. Get rid of whatever it seems to ail you. Boros Guildgate. Insect Token. Oh, it seems like now we're getting nothing but, you know, let's see, when's the last time we got a soldier? Well, it's been a while. All right, let's go ahead and open our next pack. See here, it looks like Sure Strike, and it definitely is. All right. Sure Strike, Righteous Blow, Veldican Mesmerist, Ornery Goblin, Spinal Centipede, Crushing Canopy, 3-drop, 1 green, instant, choose 1, destroy target creature with flying, destroy target enchantment. It's a little limited in scope for 3. Personally for myself. I don't know how often I would use it. I might throw it in there just as added insurance against enchantments. The flying, I don't know how much I would use because, well, you know, I mean, it does come up, but not often enough. I think I would put something specifically in my deck to combat flying. It's a 5-drop, 1 red, 1 white, Garrison Sergeant. Has double strike as long as you control a gate. Like I said earlier, I think this card, we opened it on one of our first couple packs. It's a little expensive for me, with the caveat that you have to control a gate, and he doesn't really have that much else going on for him. Deadly Visit. Is it Locket? I do believe that is the first one of those that we have pulled this evening. Direct Current. Affectionate Indrik. I can tell he's very affectionate, maybe to a fault. Let's see, 6-drop, 1 green. When he enters the battlefield, you may have it fight target creature you don't control. It's a 4/4. It's a little expensive, but being able to fight a target creature you don't control as soon as it enters the battlefield, that might make up for it. It can be a pretty midline filler card. Boros Challenger, love this card. Hellkite Whelp. Let's see, 5-drop, 1 red, dragon, flying. Whenever Hellkite Whelp attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature defending player controls. It's a 3/3. Yeah, since it does deal 1 damage every time it attacks, I can see it being kind of useful in a dragon deck. It is a little expensive, but, like I've said, nice filler. Camaraderie. 6-drop, 4 colorless, 1 green, 1 white, sorcery. You gain X life and draw X cards, where X is the number of creatures you control. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Great for token decks. This card right here is absolutely phenomenal for token decks. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. I do believe I'm going to use that. Is it Guildgate? Oh, and the Return of the Soldier token. Alright, let's set these over here. Throw away our packages. Go ahead and go on to the next pack. This box does seem to be the gift that keeps on giving. Does seem like it's going on for quite a bit, but hoping to maybe get a Planeswalker. You never know. Let's see here. Unexplained Disappearance. Cosmotronic Wave. Sworn Companions. Love that card. For 3, create 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens with lifelink. Severed Strands. Generous Stray. That's our 3rd one, I think. Pitiless Gorgon. I do think that's our 3rd one of those as well. Fresh Face Recruit. I think we now have a full play set of him. Artful Takedown. Sumalo Woodshaper. I do like that card. I think that's going to see some play for me. Devious Cover-Up. True Fire Captain. Now this is new. 4-drop, 2 red, 2 white, Human Knight, has Mentor. Whenever True Fire Captain is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target player. It's a 4/3. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be using this card. I do like that. It has Mentor, and it deals that much damage to target player. That could be all it takes there at endgame. Extra 4 damage. Night Veil Sprite, like this card. It's a fairy robe, 2-drop, 1 blue, has flying. Whenever Night Veil Sprite attacks, you get a Surveil 1. So 1/2. Yeah, that's pretty great for a 2-drop. World Soul Colossus, X, 1 green, 1 white. Elemental, Convoke. World Soul Colossus enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. That's actually pretty nifty, especially in a token deck. I can definitely see myself using that. Izoni Thousand Eyes, 6-drop, 2 colorless, 2 black, 2 green, legendary creature, elf shaman. Undergrowth, when Izoni Thousand-Eyed enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 black and green insect creature token for each creature card in your graveyard. It also has the 1 black, 1 green, sacrifice another creature, you gain 1 life and draw a card. It's a 2/3. For Golgari, yeah, this is definitely nice. I could definitely see myself putting this in my deck. Another Guildgate. Got a Golgari. I think this is the first one we've got of a Golgari Guildgate. And our Elf Knight. All right. see what we got here. Looks like, yep, Righteous Blow. All right, Righteous Blow. Leapfrog. 3-drop, 1 blue. Leapfrog has flying as long as you've cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. He's a 3/1. For a 3-drop that possibly has flying when you're playing blue, it's not too bad. Goblin Locksmith, 2-drop. Whenever he attacks, creatures with a defender can't block this turn. That's actually not bad. Yeah, I could see myself putting that in for some filler. Ledev Guardian. Devkarin Dissident. 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 green. 2/2. Pay 5, 1 green. Devkarin Discant, so it's +1 plus, not +1 plus 1, +2/+2 until end of turn. That's not bad for a 2-drop. It's a 2/2. Maybe late game you can pull off that 5. Vicious Rumors. She looks fairly scandalized. 1 black. Sorcery. Vicious Rumors deals 1 damage to each opponent. Each opponent discards a card, then puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. You gain 1 life. Yeah, this card's not bad. It does have the possibility of kind of feeding in to your opponent's graveyard, but if they're not playing graveyard shenanigans, then it's a fairly okay card. Crushing Canopy. Selesnya Locket. Direct Current. Izzet Locket. Night Veil Predator. I was hoping we would hit one of these. It's a 4-drop, 2 blue, 2 black. Creature Vampire. Flying Death Touch. Has Hexproof. 3/3. This creature, this card I really enjoy. Besides the card art, the Flying Death Touch with Hexproof, it's just pretty phenomenal. Disinformation Campaign. It's a 3-drop, 1 blue, 1 black enchantment that when Disinformation Campaign enters the battlefield, you draw a card and each opponent discards a card. Whenever you surveil, return Disinformation Campaign to its owner's hand. You know, that's actually not bad, especially when you're surveilling. If you surveil often, you can just keep playing it. Yeah, having your opponent discard cards, while it might feed their graveyard a little bit, you do get draw from it, and if they're not playing, like I said, graveyard shenanigans, that can be pretty alright. Inescapable Blaze, 6-drop, 2 red, instant. The spell cannot be countered, and Inescapable Blaze deals 6 damage to any target. Actually, I would put this in my deck. It might be a nice way to finish off an opponent, get that last 6 damage in. Yeah, I could definitely see myself using that. Experimental Frenzy. Ooh, nice color on this. It's a 4-drop, 1 red enchantment. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play the top card of your library. You can't play cards from your hand. For 4, you can destroy Experimental Frenzy. This is a little bit of a double-edged sword. You can't play cards from your hands, but you can play the top card of your library. So, in theory, if you play the top card of your library, then look at the next card, which would end up being the top card of your library. You can continue to play that until you ran out of mana. The only issue with that would be, if you get something in your hand that's fairly nice. Dimir Guildgate. An insect token. Alright, and we'll go to the next pack. Let's see here. I know this feels like it's going on forever, but this is 36 packs, so quite a few cards in here. Let's throw our wrappers away. Ornery Goblin. He does look fairly ornery. Skyline Scout. Wall of Mist. Hitchclaw Recluse. Barrier of Bones. Darkblade Agent, 3-drop, 1 colorless, 1 blue, 1 black. Human Assassin, it is a 2/3. As long as you've surveilled this turn, Darkblade Agent has Death Touch, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. For a 3-drop, 2/3, this is actually pretty great, especially in Dimir decks with all that surveil. Having Death Touch is, yeah, that's pretty great. I can definitely see myself putting that in a Dimir deck. Devious Cover-Up. Erstwhile Trooper, 3-drop, 1 colorless, 1 black, 1 green, zombie soldier. Discard a creature card. Erstwhile Trooper gets +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn. Activate this ability only once each turn. It is a 2/2. That's actually pretty nice. The caveat, of course, is that you have a creature card in hand that you're willing to discard. But for a 3-drop, that's actually, that's not bad. Sky Knight Legionnaire, I was hoping to see this card again. I actually did use it in pre-release the other night. It's a 3-drop, 1 colorless, 1 red, 1 white, has flying and haste, and is a 2/2. Whisper Agent, it's a 3-drop, 1 colorless, 2 blue, 2 black. You get to choose. Flash, when Whisper Agent enters the battlefield, surveil 1. It is a 3/2. I do like this. It has flash, you get a surveil, and it's a 3/2. For 3, that's pretty great. Arboretum Elemental, 9-drop, Convoke, has hexproof, 7/5. For token decks, I could definitely see you using this, especially with it having hexproof. Don't know if I would use it. I don't know if I want to build a green token deck, but if I do, I think I will put that in there. Swarm Guildmage, 2-drop, 1 black, 1 green, Elf Shaman. It's a 2/2, and he has a 4 colorless, 1 black tap. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain menace until end of turn. And then for 2, 1 colorless, 1 green, you can tap and gain 2 life. That's a lot of utility for a 2-drop. This card is actually quite great. The 5 and tap is a little expensive, but all your creatures getting menace, that's pretty nice. Rampaging Monument, it's a 4-drop. I do believe this is the second one we've got. Temple Garden. As Temple Garden enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 life. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped. Emboros Guildgate, and another blue illusion token. Bird illusion token, I apologize. Let's see here. Gonna set our cards to the side. The ever-growing pile. Open our next pack. Radical Idea. I think that's the 3rd or 4th one we've got. Goblin Locksmith. Loxodon Restorer, the Return of the Loxodon. It's a 6-drop, 4 colorless, 2 white, has Convoke, and whenever he enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life. He has a 3/4. Especially with Convoke, definitely I could see putting this card in my deck with that gaining 4 life. There might be other things that I could imagine myself putting in instead, but, that might be a nice filler. Crushing Canopy, Barrier of Bones, Candlelight Vigil, Sonic Assault, Rhizome Lurcher, I believe that's the 3rd one of those we've gotten, Fresh-Faced Recruit, Mephetic Vapors, The Price of Fame, 4-drop, 3 colorless, 1 black, instant. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a legendary. Destroy target creature, surveil 2. Yeah, I could see myself definitely using this in a black, any type of splicing black with the surveil. It does help that if it's targeting a legendary, it costs 2 less. It's always nice. Wee Dragonauts, the 2nd one we've gotten of those. Love those little guys. Pilfering Imp. Isn't he adorable? 1 black, 1/1, flying, tap 1 colorless, 1 black, sacrifice Pilfering Imp, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. For a 1-drop, that's great. Oh, and another one. I was hoping I would get another one of these. I love this. Aurelia, Exemplar of Justice, 4-drop. 2 colorless, 1 red, 1 white. Legendary creature angel. She is a 2/5 with flying, mentor, and at the beginning of your combat on your turn, choose up to 1 target creature you control. Until end of turn, that creature gets +1/+0, gains trample if it's red, and gains vigilance if it's white. This card is great, especially with other Boros cards. It gets both Trample and Vigilance and the +2/+0. Absolutely adore that card. I am going to go ahead and put it in a sleeve. Angels are a favorite of mine personally. I did play an Avacyn deck back when Avacyn Restored came out. Elf Knight and Boros Guildgate. Alright, let's see here. Next pack. Let's see, this looks like, yep, Intrusive Pack Beast. Maximize Altitude, 1-drop blue, sorcery, target creature gets +1/+1 and gains flying until end of turn. Also has Jumpstart. This card is great. Yeah, I could definitely see myself using that with Jumpstart. That's, yeah, I do enjoy that. Wary Okapi. Veiled Shade. Oh, I love the card art on that. 3-drop, 2 colorless, 1 black. 2/2, pay 1 colorless, 1 black, gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Yeah, I could see this as a filler card for your deck. It's not phenomenal, but it definitely does have some utility there. Golgari Locket, Maniacal Rage, Hired Poisoner, Vernati Shieldmate, Hypnothesizzle, Prey Upon, Conclave Tribunal, Sinister Sabotage, Swath Cutter Giant. I don't know if we've pulled one of these yet from this pack. I did play one of these pre-release just to have something a little on the high end of the spectrum. It's a 6-drop, 4 colorless, 1 red, 1 white, 5/5. It has Vigilance, and whenever Swath Cutter Giant attacks, it deals 1 damage to each creature defending player controls. Great for use against token decks, does have Vigilance. It is a little expensive, but I do feel like having Vigilance and the 1 damage to each creature really helps it out. Guildmage's Forum. Tap to add a colorless. Pay 1 tap, add 1 mana of any color. If that mana is spent on a multicolored creature spell, that creature enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. This is pretty great, actually. I do imagine myself using this. I might even get 4 to put in my deck. I might only use 2 at a time, but maybe just have them in multiple decks. That way I don't have to keep unsleeving it. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I do think I'm going to use that. I'm going to go ahead and put it with our land. Got another Dimir Guildgate and an insect token. Let's see here. Open our next pack. Oh, another Intrusive Pack Beast. Set these over here. I apologize if there's background noise. It does sound like my cat, Grayson, is running up and down the hallway. He does tend to do that. He is a spoiled child, and to be honest, I wouldn't have it any other way. Radical idea. Excited to have 4 of these. I really, in my blue decks, I'm going to use this constantly. Goblin Locksmith, Crawl Forgers, Moodmark Painter, Deadly Visit, Iron Shell Beetle, Rosemane Centaur. I can't get over how nice that card art looks. Just absolutely fantastic. I'd love to get a foil one of these. Garrison Sergeant, Rock Charger, Crackling Drake. I do believe this is the first one we've got of these. It's a 4-drop, 2 blue, 2 red, Flying Drake. Let's see. Crackling Drake's power is equal to the total number of instant and sorcery cards you own in exile and in your graveyard. When he does enter the battlefield, you get to draw a card. This is actually really nice, as it does account the instant and sorceries not only in your graveyard, but in your exile pile. I can imagine myself definitely using this in an Izzet deck. Maybe even 2 or 3 of them. Goblin Banneret, 1-drop red. Mentor, 1/1, does have 1 colorless, 1 red, gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Honestly, with red, for this being a 1-drop and then being able to go into turn 2, if you didn't put another creature out, go ahead and pump him up, get that +2. There's a good chance that, especially if you're playing blue, they don't have anything out yet, you've already dealt them 4 damage. Turn 3, you can possibly even give it Mentor if you've got a 1-drop. So that's a pretty great card. Beast Whisperer. It's a 4-drop, 2 colorless, 2 green, elf druid. It's a 2/3. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. I love cards that give me card draw. Definitely could see myself using this. Unexplained Disappearance. Ah, that's fantastic. I love that foil. That is fantastic looking. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to go ahead and put this in a sleeve. I just like to put them in there. Keep the holofoil nice and not chipped. Boros Guildgate and an Elf Knight. Go ahead and set that to the side. Get our cards all lined back up. And we are officially almost 2/3 of the way through the box. I am pretty happy with what we've gotten so far. We've gotten quite a few good cards. Let's see here. 10th District Guard is a 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 white. I think this might be the 3rd one we've gotten of that, maybe. Leapfrog, do like that. Fearless Halberder. Sworn Companions, definitely going to use that in a token deck. Veiled Shade. Undercity Uprising, love that Death Touch. Parhelion Patrol, I do believe this is the first I've pulled it out of this box. I did use one of these in my pre-release deck. It was a Boros deck. It was, so this card here is a 4-drop, 3 colorless, 1 white. It is a 2/3. It does have Flying and Vigilance as well as Mentor. I do really like pairing this with other cards that have Mentor, kind of bouncing Mentor tokens off of each other. Boros Locket. I think that might be the 4th one we've got of those. Siege Worm. Affectionate Indrik. Crush Contraband, love that card. I think this is the 2nd one we've got. Definitely going to be putting it in one of my decks. Legion Guildmage. I don't think I've pulled one of these from this pack, but this might be the 2nd one we pulled. It's a 2-drop red, white with tap 5 colorless, tap a red, deals 3 damage to each opponent, and tap 2 colorless, tap a white, tap another target creature. It is a 2/2. Light of the Legion, love those angel cards. I'm definitely going to be using this. It's a 6-drop, 4 colorless, 2 white, 5/5 with flying, as well as Mentor. And when Light of Legion dies, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on each white creature you control. I'd really like to put this in my Aurelia deck now that I do have 2. Think that with Lyra Angel. You know, angels have always been something I really enjoy playing, so I'll see if I can fit this in there somewhere. Gatekeeper Gargoyle. Nice and shiny foil. I don't imagine myself ever using this card, but like I said earlier, those nice foil cards I do like to go ahead and put in sleeves to keep the foil board from chipping, even if they aren't worth that much. Selesnya Guildgate and an Elf Knight. See here. Put that in there. So we are officially 2/3 of the way through. I think that we only have about like maybe 11, 12 packs left. Yeah, 12 packs I think is about what we have left. So hoping maybe in these next 12 packs we can hit a Planeswalker. If not, that is all right. It's not going to break my heart, but of course it is something that I would like to see. Got another Goblin Locksmith. 2nd Loxodon Restorer. Wishcoin Crab, first one I've drawn. 4-drop, 3 colorless, 1 blue crab, so 2/5. He's good for chumping fodder, I guess. Not something I would exactly have to have in a deck. Never Happened, Hitchclaw Recluse, Hammer Dropper, Demure Locket, Luminous Bonds, Candlelight Vigil, Piston Fist Cyclops. This is the third one we've drawn. Like I said earlier, I do think this is a relatively great card. I think I'm going to use all three of them in a deck. If I can get a fourth, I'd love to use a fourth as well in an Izzet deck. It does have Defender, but you are playing blue-red. I do feel like you're going to be casting enough instants or sorceries that he can still be played pretty aggressively. Electrostatic Field, first one we've pulled, is a 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 red Defender. It's a 0/4. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcerer spell, Electrostatic Field deals 1 damage to each opponent. For a 2-drop, for a Defender, this is actually great. Just keep zapping them. I do love that. I think I could definitely put this in here as some chump fodder. Joins Shields, another first for this box. It's a 5-drop, 3 colorless, 1 green, 1 white instant. You untap all creatures you control. They gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. It's a little expensive, but I do think that when you're on the defense and you may have just swung all out, with that hexproof and indestructible, get you through to the next turn, I could definitely see myself using that. District Guide. Another first. It's a 3-drop, 2 colorless, 1 green Elf Scouts, a 2/2. When District Guide enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card or gate card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. For a 3-drop, that mana ramp, honestly, this card's perfect. Couldn't ask for a whole lot more. Unmoored Ego. It's a 3-drop, 1 colorless, 1 blue, 1 red. Definitely some nice card art on there. It's a sorcery. Choose a card name, search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that name and exile them. That player shuffles their library, then draws a card for each card exiled from their hand this way. Yeah, this is great for a 3-drop. Get some of those real big bads out there. Love to see that in a Demure deck. I definitely think I'm going to put that in there myself. A Demure Guildgate. And another Bird Illusion token. I think that's the third one we've gotten. Put our land over there. Go ahead and add to our pile. And open our next pack. Alright, looks like a 10th District Guard. Put that out there. Okay. Leapfrog. Fearless Halberder, Sworn Companions, Urban Utopia, Moodmark Painter, Siege Worm, Goblin Electromancer, Notion Rain, Selesnya Locket, Beacon Bolt. This is a first for this box. It's a 3-drop, 1 colorless, 1 blue, 1 red sorcery. Beacon Bolt deals damage to target creature equal to its total number of instant and sorcery cards you own in exile and in your graveyard. It also has Jumpstart. This is a great card for Izzet decks. I can definitely see myself putting maybe 2, 3 of these in there for myself. Yeah, really love that, especially with the Jumpstart. Guild Summit. Crawl Swarm is the first I've seen of this one. It's an Insect Warrior 4/1 with, it's a 5-drop, 4 colorless, 1 black, flying. Tap 2 colorless, 1 black, discard a creature card, return Crawl Swarm from your graveyard to your hand. That's not bad. It is a little expensive, but the ability to keep it coming back, especially in late game where you might need that extra chump blocker, that can definitely come in handy. Oh, there we go. Steam Vents. Okay. Steam Vents enters the battlefield. You may pay 2 life. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped. We also got a Boros Guildgate and an Angel token. Go ahead and put that Steam Vent in one of these, because I will probably be using it. Got another Wojek Bodyguard. Take Heart, Demir Informant, Rebel Belt Boar, Bartizan Bats, 4-drop, 3 colorless, 1 black, flying. It's a 3/1. It's a little expensive. I don't see myself maybe putting it in a deck, but I definitely think if you need some filler, you could certainly put it in there. Devkurin Dissident, Iron Shell Beetle, Muse Drake, Gateway Plaza, Deadweight, Crawl Harpooner, Insect Warrior, 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 green, has reach. It is a 3/2. It also has Undergrowth. When Crawl Harpooner enters the battlefield, choose up to 1 target creature with flying you do not control. Crawl Harpooner gets +X/+O until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Then you may have Crawl Harpooner fight that creature. Okay, this is actually fantastic. I definitely will be using this in a green deck. For 2, it's already has reach into the 3/2, but with that Undergrowth, that really pushes over. I can definitely see myself. I probably will try and get 4 of these. I really like that card. Chemister's Insight, Book Devourer. It is a 6-drop, 5 colorless, 1 red, 4/5 with trample. Whenever Book Devourer deals combat damage to a player, you may discard all the cards in your hand. If you do, draw that many cards. Personally, I don't see myself using this a whole lot. I don't even know what I would do as far as putting it in a deck. I can definitely see if you don't have really anything of value in your hand, since it is a May, being able to draw that many cards and then go ahead from that could be helpful. But personally, I don't see myself using it. Let's see. Erratic Cyclops. Cyclops Shaman, 0/8. It's a 4-drop, 3 colorless, 1 red, has trample. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Erratic Cyclops gets +X/+O until end of turn, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. I do like this, especially with the trample aspect. It is red, like I've said before. You're casting enough instants and sorceries, and sometimes high-cost ones that X could be worthwhile. I don't think I'd maybe put more than 1 in my deck, but I could definitely see using this in a Izzet deck. Boros Guildgate, and another Bird Illusion. All right. Next pack. Got a Ornery Goblin here. Get rid of some of the trash. Alright, Ornery Goblin. Loxodon Restorer. Child of Night. Wary Okapi. Rhizome Lurcher. Sky Knight Legionnaire. Darkblade Agent. Centaur Peacemaker. This one is first for this box. It's a 3-drop, 1 colorless, 1 green, 1 white. It's a 3/3 Centaur Cleric. It does have, whenever it enters the battlefield, each player gains 4 life. Personally, I mean, for 3, it's a 3/3 and you gain 4 life. I don't know how worried I would be about my opponent getting life. I could see this, I could maybe put 1 or 2 of these in a green-white deck. I don't think that would be awful. Whisper Agent, Capture Spear, League Guildmage, 2-drop, 1 blue, 1 red. It's a 2/2 human wizard, 4, let's see, pay 4, 3 colorless, 1 blue, tap, draw card, pay X, and 1 red, tap, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control with converted mana cost of X. You may choose new targets for that copy. That alone in and of itself makes this card worth it. Even if this was just a instant sorcery that allowed you to copy, that in and of itself would be worth it. So this card is definitely something I would put in an Izzet deck. I might even have 4. So yeah, I really like that card. Sprouting Renewal, Status and Statue. I believe that's the second one we've got. Blood Operative, Vampire Assassin, I think this is the first one for this box. It is a 3-drop, 1 colorless, 2 black, lifelink. When Blood Operative enters the battlefield, you may exile target card from a graveyard. Whenever you surveil, if Blood Operative is in your graveyard, you may pay 3 life. If you do, return Blood Operative to your hand. It is a 3/1. In and of itself, having the lifelink and then being able to exit target card from your battlefield for 3, that is worth it to me. But being able to, every time you surveil, go ahead and pay 3 life and bring him back, because he does have lifelink, that payment is inconsequential. Being able to keep him on the board with that lifelink is pretty nice. And I mean, every time you bring him back and cast him, you get an exile target card from graveyard. So I can definitely see myself using this in a Dimir deck. Golgari Guildgate and an Elf Knight token. All right. We're kind of reaching the end of the box. No Planeswalkers yet, but we do still have plenty of time for that to happen. Let's see here. Maximize Velocity. Great card. Love that little 1-drop. And you know that goblin? He just looks like he's having so much fun. Healer's Hawk. Dazzling Lights. Spinal Centipede. Wild Ceratok. Goblin Electromancer, Notion Rain, Selesnya Locket, Watcher in the Mist, Gatekeeper Gargoyle, Lava Coil. It's a 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 red sorcery. Deals 4 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Fantastic for cards that just keep coming back, or something that you really just don't want to see again, even if you're not 100% sure that your opponent does have graveyard dig. The 4 damage for 2 plus the exiling is just really fantastic. It is only a sorcery, but I do feel like it is worth it. Definitely could put maybe 2 of these in a deck. Pilfering Imp, March of the Multitudes. Okay, this is a mythic. It's an X, colorless, 1 green, 2 white instant. Does have Convoke and create X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens with lifelink. This, yeah, there's not really much to say as far as wow. Like I said, I think I've said it a couple of times, try not to spoil myself too much, but this card is absolutely fantastic. I definitely will be using this in a green-white token deck. This for endgame, being able to go ahead and pull all those out, and if you have charge, go ahead and, you know, swing with the +1/+1s. This is great. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a sleeve. Set that over to the side. We did also get a foil Fire Urchin. The color on that is really fantastic with the foil. It really pops nice. I know I've said that probably wouldn't use this card too much, but I do like getting foils. It's a little nice surprise. We'll go ahead and put that in a sleeve as well. We did also get a Boros Guildgate and a Bird Illusion token. Can never have too many of those. Put these over to the side. All right. And open this pack. Oop. Little snag there. Okay. Wojek Bodyguard. Take Heart. Dimir Informant. Rebel Belt Boar. Wild Ceratok. Spinal Centipede. Deadly Visit, Iron Shell Beetle, Parhelion Patrol, Garrison Sergeant, Flower and Flourish. I think that's the second one we've got of that. Plague Crafter. Yes, that is the second one we've got of that. Gird for Battle. It's a 1-drop white sorcery. Put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. That's nice. I think definitely have 2 of those in a token deck, maybe. Overgrown Tomb. It is a tap for adding black or green. As it enters the battlefield, you can pay 2 life. If you don't, it enters tapped. Go ahead and put that in a sleeve as well. Is it Guildgate? And then we got an emblem for Vraska, which I personally would love to pull. I do really love Golgari, and Vraska is just fantastic. See how many packs we got left here. Go ahead and set that emblem in a different stack. Get rid of these. Kind of clear up our space a little bit. Okay, we got 6 packs left, it looks like. So, all right. Loxodon Restorer, Wishcoin Crab, Wary Okapi, Veiled Shade, Sumalo Woodshaper, Hypnothesizzle, Prey Upon, Gravitic Punch, 4-drop, 3 colorless, 1 red sorcery. Target creature you can control deals damage equal to its power to target player. Also has Jumpstart. It is only a sorcery and it's a 4. I don't know how much I would use it, but it does have Jumpstart, so I may put 1 in there. 1 in a red deck, that's not bad. Dimir Locket, Centaur Peacekeeper, the Glaive of the Guild Pact, 2-drop colorless artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 for each gate you control and has vigilance as well as menace. Equip 3. I do like it even if you don't have the gate. The ability to have vigilance and menace I feel is worth it even if you didn't have a gate out. Say you just had 1, you only get the +1/+0. But having vigilance and menace for just 2 and then 3 equip especially on a large creature, I do like that. Grappling Sundew, Dimir Spybug, 2-drop, 1 blue, 1 black. It's a 1/1 flying insect with menace. Whenever you surveil, put a 1/1 counter on Dimir Spybug. This card, honestly, I thought it couldn't get any better after it had menace for just a 2-drop, but the ability to put a +1/+1 each time you surveil, that's pretty nice. I could definitely see myself putting 4 of these in a Dimir deck. Dream Eater, Nightmare Sphinx. It's a 6-drop, 4 colorless, 2 blue, has flash and flying. It is a 4/3. When Dream Eater enters the battlefield, surveil 4. When you do, you may return target non-land permanent an opponent controls to its owner's hand. That's interesting. The ability to may return target non-land permanent okay. Yeah, the ability to kick something back to your opponent's hand, plus surveilling 4. That's pretty nice. It is expensive, but I do think it definitely pays for itself as it does have flash along with everything else. I think that is a pretty nice card. Got another Selesnya Guildgate and an Elf Knight token. Okay, open this. Wojek Bodyguard, Take Heart, Dimir Informant, Devkurin Dissident, Vicious Rumors, Crushing Canopy, Parhelion Patrol, Boros Locket, Siege Worm, House Guildmage. It's a 2-drop, 1 blue, 1 black, 2/2. Pay 1 colorless, 1 blue, and tap it. Target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. It also has pay 2 colorless, 1 black, tap. You get a surveil 2. Definitely see myself using this in a Dimir setup. I mean, even just having the untap doesn't untap during the controller's next untap step. That's pretty nice. but the Surveil 2 really adds to it. I could see myself putting a couple of those in there. Sunhome Stalwarts, a 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 white. I think we might have already pulled one of these, but it does have First Strike as well as Mentor. It is a 2/2. Conclave Guildmage. Now I do know this is a first for this box. It's 1 green, 1 white, 2-drop Elf Cleric. It's a 2/2. Pay 1 green and tap. Creatures you control gain trample until end of turn, as well as pay 5 colorless, 1 white and tap. Create a 2/2 green white Elf Knight creature token with Vigilance. This card is fantastic. Alone having the trample for just 1 forest is amazing, but being able to create tokens with Vigilance late in the game, that's really nice. Narcomobia, it's a 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 blue, flying illusion creature. It's a 1/1. When Narcomobia is put into your graveyard from your library, you may put it onto the battlefield. That's quite fantastic. If you mill yourself this card, just go ahead and put him out. Ooh, Darkblade Agent Foil. That looks really nice. I do like this card. I will definitely be using this. I'm going to go ahead and sleeve it up. We also got a Golgari Guildgate and another Elf Knight token. Got 4 packs left. Go ahead and set that in our pile off to the side. See here, Maximize Altitude, Torch Courier, Crawl Foragers, Bartizan Bats, Centaur Peacemaker, Darkblade Agent, Devious Cover-Up, Erstwhile Trooper, Sky Knight Legionnaire, Whisper Agent, Lava Coil, Molder Hulk. I think we might have pulled one of these earlier, but I'm not sure. It is a 9-drop, 7 colorless, 1 black, 1 green, Fungus Zombie 6/6 with Undergrowth. This spell does cost 1 less to cast for each creature card in your graveyard. Comes in handy late game, especially with Golgari graveyard shenanigans. When Molder Hulk enters the battlefield, you can return target land card from your graveyard to your battlefield. We also got an Okrin Assassin, 3-drop, 1 colorless, 1 black, 1 green, Elf Assassin 1/1 with Death Touch. All creatures able to block Okrin Assassin do so. This is fantastic for tokens, as it does have Death Touch. Got a bunch of tokens out on the board, have them all attack him, they all die. Quite nice. Ionize, 3-drop, 1 colorless, 1 blue, 1 red instant. Counter target spell. Ionize deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. I do really like this card. For 3, being able to counter a spell and then deal 2 extra damage is quite nice. Another Golgari Guildgate, and our second Goblin token. Alright, got 3 packs left. Clean up our space a little bit. Wishcoin Crab, Sure Strike, Righteous Blow, Veldekin Mesmerist, Devkurin Dissident, Vicious Rumors, Generous Stray, Pause for Reflection, Rosemane Centaur, Is It Locket? Golgari Raiders. It's a 4-drop, 3 colorless, 1 green, Elf Warrior with haste. Does have Undergrowth. Golgari Raiders enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it for each creature card in your graveyard. I do like this, especially with haste. Whispering Snitch, 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 black, Vampire Rogue, 1/3. Whenever you surveil for the first time each turn, Whispering Snitch deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. For a 2-drop, that is quite fantastic. Loleth Giant, Watery Grave. Tap for a blue or a black mana source. Enters the battlefield. You can pay 2 life. If you don't, it enters tapped. We also got an Is It Guildgate and an Elf Knight token. Go ahead and put this in a sleeve. 2 packs to go. We are on the home stretch. Looks like another Maximized Velocity. Torch Career. Hunted Witness. Pax Favor. Veiled Shade. Maniacal Rage. Hired Poisoner. Vernati Shieldmate. Hypothesizel. Prey Upon. Demotion. Conclave Cavalier. It's a 4-drop, 2 green, 2 white Centaur Knight, 4/4 with Vigilance. When Conclave Cavalier dies, create 2/2 green and white Elf Knight creature tokens with Vigilance. That's quite nice for a Selesnya deck. I do think I could probably put 3 of those in there. It's quite nice, especially with Vigilance, and then after it dies, you do get a token. Ocran Assassin, another one of those. This is a first for this box. Find and Finality. Find is a 2-drop, 2 black, 2 green. Pick your own. Sorcery. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Finality is a 6-drop, 4 colorless, 1 black, 1 green sorcery. You may put 2 1/1 counters on creature you control. Then all creatures get -4/-4 until end of turn. I don't know how often I would use Finality. You could possibly use it for a board wipe on tokens, but for 6, that's a little costly. I could definitely imagine myself using Find, though. That does have a lot of value. Selesnya Guildgate and a Goblin token. All right, last pack of the evening. Keep our fingers crossed, see if we can get a Planeswalker out of the last pack. Wouldn't that be hilarious? All right, Collar the Culprit, Dazzling Lights, Fire Urchin, Letiv Guardian, Wild Ceratok, Child of Night, Undercity Uprising, Parhelion Patrol, Boros Locket, Whispering Snitch, Justice Strike, first one we pulled out of this box. It's a 2-drop, 1 red, 1 white instant. Target creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. I do quite like this card. I would put 4 myself in a Boros deck. Selective Snare, Ritual of Soot. It's a 4-drop, 2 colorless, 2 black sorcery. Destroy all creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less. I do really like this for a board wipe. Oh, and a foil Pelt Collector. That's actually quite nice. This card in and of itself is pretty great, and then to get a foil in and of on top of that is pretty nice as well. We didn't get a Planeswalker, but with what we did get, I feel pretty satisfied. Rounded out, Dimir Guildgate and a Bird Illusion. We did get quite a few hits out of this box. I feel pretty satisfied with what we did. I appreciate everyone who watched and everyone, you know, who may watch in the future. We may do something like this again. Just depends on how many boxes I want to open. I hope everyone else has a wonderful rest of their evening. And that's about it. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.